I'm at in Chicago. I just wanted to come on to talk. Well, just finished a coaching session this morning, and Spirit wanted me to come on and talk about a little bit about that session. Um, Met with a young lady this morning, one of my VIPs, and after we finished doing the regular stuff, the nutritional stuff, I should say. She's a part of my 90-day chronic disease management program. So after we finished that part, um, Spirit wanted me to, well, last week Spirit wanted me to introduce her to her spirit guides. And so I was like, okay, we didn't have enough time last week. We would do it this week. So after we finished our nutritional stuff, I said, okay, we're about to meet your spirit guides. So I got her really relaxed. And she, as she was trying to ascend higher into the astral realms, she couldn't. It was a blockage. She couldn't really see what was going on. She couldn't extend up further up into the higher realms. And I'm like, why is there a block? She couldn't see anything really around her. It was just dark um, and so I was like, okay, wait. So I took her down a bit and I said, let's try it again. And when I tried to do it again, ascend her higher up into the astral, the higher dimensions, she still couldn't ascend. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why is she being blocked? But then Spirit was like, remember, she had a headache. She told you she has a headache. So I was like, oh, okay. So I had to bring her back down from the astral realm and bring her back down to her physical body. And once I done that, I said, okay, we need to do some grounding first. We need to do some grounding and clearing. Hey, babe. Hey, Brittany. Love you, hon. We had to do some clearing. And so I took her down into the Mother Earth for some grounding and clearing. And then Mother Earth came, ascended up to her body. And usually we start from the bottom of the chakras upward. But Mother Earth wanted to start from the head where she was having a headache. That makes sense. So I was like, okay, we start at the head. We started head and started to descend down through each chakra system. And once we started to go down, I started to realize, like, okay, she's still having some resistance. She's having some trouble in letting, shit go, in her head with the worrying and worrying what people are going to think as she come out of the closet and be this beautiful, badass goddess that she's called to be. She was worried about family and friends and daughter and a bunch of stuff. So once she started to release that, and as Mother Earth was working through her chakras, she was descending down to each chakra. She was telling, afterwards, she told me she felt a lot of tingling in her head. The headache was gone. It was gone right after our session. She couldn't find it. Her ears was burning. Like my left ear were burned like crazy when spirits around me or with someone mentioning my name in the spiritual realm. My left ear would burn like someone just little lit a match to my ear, and it would burn like hell. And I have to keep, you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Who's around me? She said the back of her neck. Now, this is the point of the back of your neck is where mostly spirits attach. Your ancestors will come attach right here. Any type of deity when they want to communicate through you, they usually attach at the back of your neck. So she said the back of her neck was burning. She said her hands was burning because she had arthritis. Her hands was burning. She had a lot of issues with her womb. And usually when you have issues with your womb, it's due to emotions, right? We all know that women carry emotional issues in our womb, in our ovaries, our uterus, and so forth. And that's why we have a lot of fibroids and cysts. So when we got down to her ovaries, and I saw that her ovaries was filled with cysts, fluids of cysts in her ovaries, Mother Earth wanted to heal that. So I noticed as Mother Earth was wrapping her love around her right and left ovaries, more so of her right ovary, I saw it was some resistance. You know, like she didn't want to let that pain go from her mother issues and the women in her family when she was growing up, those maternal issues she did not want to allow to let go. So I saw as Mother Earth was massaging, trying to get that right ovary to release that fluid, that, inflammation she was resisting. And then when I said, let go, let it go, it no longer serves you, and I just saw that ovary, the fluid in that ovary just smash, it collapsed. And I saw the fluid drain from that right ovary. I also saw in the left ovary that she had some fluid, some cysts in that area as well. And Mother Earth was trying to heal that as well. And she started to feel some tingling and burning in her root chakra as Mother Earth was working with there. But as Mother Earth was working with my client and helping align her, excuse me, and helping align her back to herself. My client afterwards, she told me, she said, I felt every chakra that Mother Earth and the angels was working on as I was describing her what was going on. She felt everything. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. She was when we finished, the headache was gone. She couldn't find it. She was sitting in the chair like, oh my God, where's the headache? I don't have it. And it was gone. It was completely gone, completely gone. Also, she was drained. After my sessions, after we do a healing session like that with the angels and Mother Gaia, the deities, and ancestors, she was drained. She was ready to go to bed. She was just like, Cynthia, I'm so tired. I'm drained. And that usually happens. Sometimes you either feel energetic or sometimes my clients really, get really drained because we did like spiritual surgery on her body. We went through the chakra systems and pulled out old debris, stuff that no longer serves her, serve them. And as we pulling out the emotional toxic stuff, the body goes into like, it's just like you're doing a fast or a detox. Once you pull out that old toxins and stuff, your body is like, oh, oh gosh, where did it go? What were we supposed to do? It tries to rebalance. And that's what she needs to do. She has to rest right now to allow her body to rebalance because her body's still going through a healing process. We just cleaned out a lot of baggage in her body. So she's going to feel tired. She's going to feel the first time we did this with our first session, we did this, she slept for 2 days. She just slept all weekend and she just was like, oh my God, Cynthia, um, um, it just, I felt so good. She said, I didn't even have to take any sleeping medicine, to go to sleep because after your session, everything was just, glorious. She said her husband had to come in and keep checking on her. Are you a baby? You okay? She was like, yes, I'm okay. She felt like she was in La La Land. And after I finished with her today, she felt the same way. She was like, okay, I gotta go to sleep. I can't keep my eyes open, and that's okay. That's okay. Another thing what Spirit told me to do with her is take her to the water. So next week, Spirit told me last week to take her to the water. She needs to go to the water, so we need to do a ritual at the water. Now, I didn't tell her that last week. I was going to tell her this week so that next week we can go to the water and to the lake and do a water ritual. So I told her today, I said, Spirit's telling me to take you to the water. We need to do a water ritual. And her eyes just did just like this, how my eyes did. She went into shock. She was like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, why? And she just started laughing. I was like, why are you laughing? She was like, oh my God, Spirit has been telling me for the past couple for the past couple weeks, I should say, I need to start to go to the water. I need to make a routine to go in the morning to go to the water. And I was like, really? So she was like, yeah. She was like, you right on point. She was just like, I've been trying to, get to the water, but it's no water, no lake or ocean around me. I said, well, I'm gonna work that out for us this week. We're gonna go to the water and we're gonna take some offerings to the water deity, some flowers, some molasses, some fruit, with us as to give to offerings, for the exchange of energy, the exchange of assistance from the water deities. And so that's why I named this Obey Spirit, because I was trying to ascend her up into the higher realms, and she was blocking me. She was blocking me. I couldn't get her past out of her head chakra. I couldn't get her to even get to the clouds, to even get to where the angels and other deities are. She was blocked. And the headache has something to do with it because she having a lot of issues going on. But I had to clear that. I had to take her down into Mother Earth first to cleanse and clear that energy. And once I did that, she was able to float. She was able to see, to open up that third eye to see what was going on. So as a spiritualist, you get to work. I work with a lot of people coming out of religion and starting to embrace their spiritual powers. And as they coming out of religion, they're like, well, I should say religious practices, beliefs and things that's holding them back. A lot of my clients are still Christians, still Buddhists, whatever, they still practice whatever. But they're open. Spirit has them open now to, receive information. And and so that's one thing that she was open to. And a lot of my religious people, when they come to me, they like have these barriers. They're in this box, and but they're open to the experience. And with her, a Hindu goddess, she's Christian, but a Hindu goddess came through for her. Woke me up early in the morning, before our session, at 2 or 3 in the morning. She came to me like, Cynthia, goddess Kali Ma. She came to me, was like, I want to work with her, and I'm asleep, in my sleep, and I'm just like, okay, Kali, I'm gonna get up at 6. And she was like, no, we need to start discussing this now. So I got on up and, took report. Well, how this session is going to go. Sometimes spirit comes to you like that. You have one way of seeing things, and, but spirit is just like, no, we're going to do it this way. So you have to obey spirit. Hi, Ebony. You have to obey spirit, and that's what I had to do. And so when I told her that Kali Ma wanted to, a Hindu deity wanted to work with her, she was like, okay, who is she? And she didn't know anything about Goddess Kali Ma. And so I told her, okay, first thing we need to do is get you a candle and to work with her energy, because she wants to work with you. She came forward and wanted to work with you. And so she went, and it's interesting. This is how us intuitives or healers or psychics, this is what brings you confidence. When when a deity come to you and say, I want to work, I want to take ownership of this healing, I want to take ownership of this particular client while she's going through her transition. Because Kali Ma is a goddess of change. She comes in and whip that ass, baby. She comes in and just like a whirlwind. She's that Oya energy, that tornado energy, that destructive energy, that she's going to pull up your fears. If you allow her to pull up those fears, pull them up for you to deal with it, and she's going to help you. She will help you burn out those false beliefs, but you have to allow her to. And so when I told my client to go to this particular candle store to get her, yes, Brittany, you are correct. Kali Ma is a deity of destruction. She would tear that ass up, and she's not to be played with. But when she calls for you, you better be ready, because she will work for you. She will kick ass for you like you won't believe. She done a lot of work for me, and I was, still in my Christian belief. Didn't want to really too much. I was kind of afraid of her. When you read and see her pictures, you're like, she's terrifying. I don't want to work with her. But you need that, because she's a dark deity, but she works in the shadow. She's not evil. She works in that shadow. She's just like Oya. That's right. They're twin sisters. They're twin sisters. And when she went to the store, as soon as she walked in the door, the store manager looked at her and he told her afterwards, he saw chicken. He said, why I'm seeing chicken when this girl walked in the store? So she just, he didn't think about it, anything else until she, went and got her, about to say oil candle, her Kalima candle. And she came back and he saw the Kalima candle, was like, oh, so that's why I saw chicken when you walked in this door. And the reason why I saw chicken, because Kalima wants to be fed. She's savage. She likes meat. And so he told her, he was like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your kalima and bless it. He blessed it for her. But I always tell my clients, even though they bless it, you come home and cleanse and bless it yourself, because it's nothing like your energy. And she brought it. So he was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. I want you to make some chicken, make it how you like it, and then sit it in front of Kalima's candle for 3 hours. And after 3 hours, you're gonna eat the chicken. Kalima wants to be fed off that chicken first to help you. And so when she told me that, I was like, see, and it made me feel so good as a healer, as a psychic, as an intuitive, as a spiritualist, as a priestess, to know that, okay, I told her Kalima I wanted to work with. Kalima appeared to me, and she went to the store, the Botanica, to get or to get Kaliman's candle, and the store person confirmed it. Soon as she walked in the door, he didn't even know her. She didn't even open her mouth to even tell him why she was there, and he confirmed it. So it made me feel good, like, all right, girl, you got this. You got this, girl. You got this. And it made me feel so good. And it also made the client feel good that I knew what I was talking about, that deity wanted to work with her. So fast forward to today, it was a 7-day candle. So I asked her, how is Kalima's candle burning? And she said when she first lit it, she was like, oh my God, the flame was off the chain. It was flying off the top of the candle. And I was like, wow, that was great. And then she said it slowly started to calm down a bit. And so I was like, okay, then. And then when I saw the end results of the candle it's a black candle. It really didn't have a lot of soot at the top. It just had some, maybe like that much, off to the side, or no, it was in the middle. Excuse me. And I told her, I said, oh, okay. I said, well, Kalima did some work for you. I said, but you were kind of resistant to her help. And she was like, yes, I was. And I said, that's okay. This is your first time, being introduced to a Hindu deity. This is your first time, opening up, to the experience of something new. So I'm like, congratulations. Not too many people be open and receptive, especially Christians, the religious Christians, open and receptive to that. And so I said, she done some work for me. She was like, yeah. She said, I know that she was working with me, because all the time the candle was burning, my husband was going through some challenges, and it was kind of, irritating me. And I just felt nothing but calmness and peace, she was telling me to just be still and to understand that he's in pain right now. And since he's in pain right now, he's going to exhibit some emotions that you may not like. And that's fine. That's okay, because we all experience that. When someone's in pain or about to have some surgery or something like that, there's anxiety, there's pain, there's frustration, there's all kinds of emotions that people experience when they're about to have surgery, especially when they're in pain. So I said, that's great that you recognize that Kalima came to you and was just like, okay, let's take a step back. He's frustrated. He's, having some anxiety. He's in pain. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. It's not a time to go there. We got this. And she said she just felt nothing but peace, peace and calmness. And so when she usually would jump off at him, go off, she said the spirit, Kalima was just like, no, we're going to relax. We're going to, go inward and meet him inward, because he's in pain, and be that shield, to be that rock for him. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you, little man. To be that shield, to be that rock for her husband. And so I just wanted to come on today because Spirit told me to come on and to, like, for those healers, psychic, intuitives, readers, mediums, obey Spirit. You may have a plan for your client during a session, but guess what? Spirit gonna come in and be like, but also to be in tune with your client, because, like, again, I was trying to send her up to meet her spirit guides and angels and ancestors, but it was resistance. She wasn't ready. Spirit told me last week she was ready, but when we got into so much other deep stuff that we didn't have time. So maybe I should have done it last week. She probably was more in tune, but we ran out of time, so we tried to do it this week, and it was resistance. So, and also too, maybe Spirit was telling me, yes, that's something we needed to do for her, but it probably wasn't it's on the to-do list, but probably wasn't ready. She probably wasn't ready at this particular moment. So that's another thing. Spirit may say, oh, do this with this particular person, but you still got to check in and see if that person, that client is still ready for at that moment. It could be on your to-do list before the contract is over with and working with that particular client, but you still have to judge and see where that client is mentally, physically, and spiritually at that particular moment for you initiate something of that caliber into their world, in a sense. So we ended the session beautifully. She was tired, she was exhausted. We've done a lot of spiritual surgical work on her with the angels and Mother Gaia. And so, yeah, I just wanted to come on and just tell, your healers, psychic, intuitive, spiritualist, priestess, high priestess, and all. You already know this, but for those newbies, obey Spirit when you're working with a client. A lot of things I do are not hands-on. I do things via the computer, and I can energetically enter work with your body via the computer. And a lot of times I'm not really doing all the work. The angels and Mother Gaia and ancestors are doing the work. I'm seeing it and intuitively seeing it. And then also I'm interpreting what I'm seeing to my particular client so that they can visualize and get the feeling what's going on. And that they are, feeling it because, like, again, my client said her headache was gone. It was miraculously gone after we finished doing the work on her. She felt the burning in her ears, the burning behind her neck. That means that the spirits was around and energetically entering her body to calibrate her body. Her hands, her arthritis pain was gone. Her womb, her ovaries, she was feeling sharp pains in her ovaries as they was doing work in her ovaries and deflating those cysts in her ovaries. So anyway, peace, love, and light to everyone. Thank you, Ebony. Yes, my hands get hot too when I'm doing a lot of healing on myself and others. And like I say, not both ears. My left ear will burn like hell. Oh my God, this is like someone's got a match to it. Boom. My crown. She was talking about she had a lot of tingling sensation in her crown before the session, and after the session she still was just like, I don't have a headache, but I feel like they was working on my head. And so yes, it was a beautiful experience. I mean, as a person, as a healer, to hear their experience afterwards, that they felt everything that you spiritually, surgically were doing. That feels good. That feels good. My ear don't pop that much. Before I start getting out that burning sensation in my ear, I used to have the ringing in the ear. It started off the ringing like in this ear, and then now it's just super sensitive. Any spirits that come around, it's just like, who around me? Who around me? What's around me? Who's speaking about me? We have that high pitched ringing. It's mine started off like that in this ear. Yes, we do, beloved. We need to see each other soon. I'm taking my next week. I'm taking my client to the water. We're gonna do a beautiful water ritual. Oh, I got to tell her to make sure she wears white to the ritual. And also after that, Spirit told me um, to get her more into a plant-based diet. So I'm gonna treat her to. She's one of my VIP clients. So she dropped some thousands to work with me. Most all my VIP clients some thousands to work with me, and I treat them very, very, very well. I don't play when it comes to my clients. I don't play when it comes to spirit. That's why I only take serious clients. Um, you know, for me, this is I have a high sense of integrity and um, and readiness. You have to be totally ready to work with me. Otherwise, if I sense anything, I had to turn down some clients this week, with some referrals this week. Well, potential referrals this week. They wanted to work with me, and I told them, I said, energetically, you're not ready for me. You're not. I could feel that, if they're like 80 to 90%, well, I say 85 to 90% ready, I could work with them, but when I feel like you're like 50-ish, 60, 70, I can't work with you. I could send you off to someone else because I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste spirit's time either. It takes a lot, to channel, to do what to do this work. And not only that, I eat organic food. I don't eat meat. And, I do eat seafood occasionally, and do a plant-based diet. I do high filtered water, alkaline water, spring water. I do a lot of reading. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't listen to regular music. It's a lot of things I don't do to be able to do the things that I'm doing, or to be able to channel the different deities from different different backgrounds. It takes a lot, and I'm not going to waste my time on someone who's, 50 or 60 or 70% ready. That's just too much energetically. That's too much for me. And so you have to be 85 to 90% ready to work with me and to work with my deities, because they know I come full force. I don't play. I laugh and I giggle because I love to have fun. But when I'm focused, when I'm on this business, I'm on this business. And I'm like a drill sergeant. In my past life, my immediate past, like I was a man, and I knew it before I even done the research. I knew it. I knew it because I came in militant. I came in with a militant attitude. I really have a militant attitude, and I almost went to the military for the army, because all of them was trying not draft me. They all tried to get me to go to the military. I was in ROTC in high school, and I scored whatever that test is, scored very high. And all the branches of the military, they was like after me for like years, and I'm like, yeah, but I can't, be told what to do all the time. I'm a free spirit. You can't put me in this box and say, okay, you gonna do this, blank, 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 and I don't know about that. So, but anyway, yeah. So I just, yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. So I just wanna, I hear you, Brittany. Yes, Lakshmi. I love Goddess Lakshmi. She is a very good deity to have on your side for fortune. She is that Venus goddess. She is that Oshun goddess, Mother Oshun. Oh, wow, when I said her name, just got all tingly and fuzzy. Oshun goddess. I'm going through my own spiritual initiation soon. I'll be traveling to West Africa for my initiations for Voodoo and Ifa. I'm going back to the roots. As these deities are coming to me, I just have a beautiful experience with Nana Boloku and or Boroku. Different ways of saying it, and she is a primordial mother of all. She's a very ancient deity, and she's been coming to me. It's like, hey, we got to get on this, girl. We got to get on this. So she's very protective over me as well. Very highly protective. My godmother, and she introduced herself to my godmother. My godmother is really religious, and she listens to me, and it's amazing. She and I teach each other. Iron sharpens iron. And she appeared to my godmother. My godmother was like, who is this old lady just around you? I'm like, she was like, she looked ancient. She's like thousands and thousands of years old. And so I was like, yes, she is. And she was like, I don't know who she is, but I don't know, but I'm asking her to bless me too. So I introduced her to, Nana Boroku, and as well, and she is the deity of Wudon deity, one of the primordial mothers. Her likeness would be Goddess Aset. Goddess Aset is my primordial mother as well. She one of the first ones to introduce herself to me. I don't have the necklace, but a stranger sent me a beautiful choker necklace from Mother Goddess Aset a couple years ago. And I really didn't know. That probably was like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I really didn't know that much about her besides she was an Egyptian deity and she was a mother deity. So when I started researching about her, I was like, oh my God, I got a gift from mother. I got a gift from mother Aset Isis. Oh my God. And I just cried and I just wept like a baby. I just wept like a baby. And I keep the necklace in my bed with me and I sleep with her. Excuse me. So, anyway, I just wanted to come on and just say, obey. When you're in your coaching session and spirits say, do this, do this, do that, you do the detour. You don't question it. You just do it. And watch your clients. Watch how your clients just flourish. Watch how they just transform right in front of your eyes. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. I love this work. I love this work. It is so beautiful seeing women just transform in front of your eyes to save marriages. Oh my gosh, I am such a saving marriage type of person. I believe in marriage, and to see a husband and wife just totally coming together and seeing God to work on that man after like 20, 15 years of praying for that man to change, and all of a sudden I start working on these wives, and the wives, start to glow and start to get that power back, to get that mojo, get that Shakti energy back. And God just work on their husbands, just start changing them. And, and these are strangers. These are strangers. Anyway, people have been telling them, been coaching them all along about leaving their marriages and leaving and leaving their husbands and leaving everything behind. And here I am, a stranger. God, placed them God put it into another person's life to have them to talk to me. Or, they may find me on social media, to talk to a stranger about their marriage. And here I am. I can read without cards and I can read with cards. But for this particular session, God told me, no, you use the cards for her. And I used 7 decks for her. 7. Because I look at all my decks and I was like, okay, Spirit want this one, Spirit want this one, Spirit want this one, you want this one? Okay, what else you want? 7 decks for her. And this particular one, I should say, 7 decks for this particular one. And oh my gosh, out of 7 decks, 4 of the 7 decks, and only one was the romance deck, but the 3 others were regular decks, and all of them say, boo, you ain't going nowhere. You're going to stay with your husband because God is about to work on him. God is about to whip that ass. Do you hear me? All your prayers for 20 years and trying to get that man to, not submit, but to submit to God and submit to the plan for both of you lives. You're going to stay with him. Now, all her friends and, Christian, mothers and things of that nature, they all told her to leave this man. Leave him. He ain't changed in all these years. Why should you stay with him? God said, you going to stay. I got a plan for you and that man. And that man's about to change, and to hear the confirmation. And I only just started working with her. This is the second week. To hear the confirmation that, her husband, she looking at her husband a whole different eyes, and he looking at her like, oh my gosh, you just goddess, you just being. I want to be around you. I want to do things with you. He even ministering now. He's a minister, but he had fallen off. He's even ministering now. I'm a stranger to them. I'm a stranger. But sometimes God, source or the universe will send someone like me, a stranger, to someone to help them, to make them see, to bring them clarity. She was on the verge, like literally, like about to leave him, like literally, like if I would have said the wrong thing. And that's what, we spiritualists have to be careful. You have to be very careful. That's why you must listen to spirit. Because if I probably would have just tuned in and maybe I probably, that's why spirit told me, no, you're going to use the cards with her. Because it's some deeper shit that needs to come up, and she needs to hear. Everything I said was totally accurate. Every card was totally accurate. She couldn't believe. She couldn't believe it. She could not believe it. And for her to stay in her marriage, something that she didn't pray for, and God said, I didn't answer your prayers. I'm working on that man. You're going to stay right there, because he going to be everything that you ever wanted, everything that you ever asked for, everything that you needed. He going to worship the ground that you work on. He going to feed you. He going to take you all across the world. You're going to be his goddess, and you're going to be his goddess, and he's going to be your God, little G, not big G. And everything is about to be beautiful. That money and everything, that business that you both want is about to flourish. But if you leave now, you will miss out on all of that. You will miss out on all that blessing, all that prayer, all that heartaches, all that pain. Guess what? Somebody could come on in, another woman could come on in and snatch that up. All that work you put into that man, and guess what? God was ready to change him, and God is willing to change him and working on him at this particular moment. And if you leave right now, all that 20 years of prayer, all that 20 years of begging and pleading, all that 20 years of, running and crying and snotting and pleading and bleeding the blood and everything would have been out that door. Would have been out that door. Some other woman would have got that. Because you wasn't obedient to stay still. Just a little longer. Just a little bit longer. Stay still just a little bit longer. And watch it. Now, this message is not for all women. This message is for certain women who God told them to be still. To be still. But while you being still, don't lose yourself. While you be still work on yourself. While you being still get that business going. While you still being still get your health in order. While you still being still. And while God working on that man. But this is when God told you to stay with that man. Stay with him. This is for you. This is not for those getting abused and blah, blah, blah. This is for when you know that God told you to stay. You stay. And you do what you need to do. You work on that business. You work on yourself. You feel good about yourself. You love yourself. And watch God work on that man behind the scenes. That's what you do. You keep praying for him. You read Psalm 31 every night and every day. You proclaim what your husband's supposed to be and what you are supposed to be, so that you both come into alignment. Okay, well, went off all on a powerful thing. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Kelly. So, this is all. I'm done. I went off into a whole different tangent, but obey spirit. Obey spirit. Obey. You may want to go this way. You may want to go that way. Follow spirit. Blessings to you all. Have a great and beautiful Saturday. Be powerful. Be resilient. Stand in your power. You are a piece of God. You are God in the flesh, having a beautiful experience upon this earth. Make it grand. Make it powerful. Make a statement. You're here for a reason. Don't ever forget that. I love you all. Goddess blessings.